So Sonic Prime has officially come to a close, and the ending has wound up leaving a lot of us with more questions rather than answers. Before the release of Season 2, I had a theory that restoring the Paradox Prism could potentially have dire consequences for all of the Shatterspace variants. We get a line from Shadow in the trailer where he's telling Sonic that these other versions of his friends aren't his real friends.
They're not your real friends.
And this has me wondering, if all the shards are found and put together, what exactly does that mean for all the other realities? It seems like they might cease to exist, which would be a really great twist if Sonic had to make a tough decision or find another way to fix things other than restoring the shards. But the season came and went, and nothing substantial was mentioned about this. In fact, throughout the entirety of the show, we never really get any explanation about what the Shatterspace is, and what would happen to Sonic's friends once the prism is restored. So admittedly, when reaching the conclusion of Season 3, none of this was on my mind. I ended up taking the show at face value. Sonic left the Shatterspace as the worlds began to restore, and the ending was meant to be ambiguous, showing us that Sonic and his friends are ready for another adventure. I didn't really think much deeper about the conclusion and thought that it was fine for what it was. However, with the showrunners revealing no future plans to continue Sonic Prime at this moment, as well as some tweets from Ian Flynn, there's been a slew of confusion going on, so today I hope to clear things up the best that I can. First, let's address what Ian Flynn said about Sonic Prime in regards to it wiping itself out. The tweet here from Ian is about the canon timeline, and as we saw in the final episode of Sonic Prime Season 3, upon entering the gateway back to his world, Sonic comes to find that time had not passed. So to everyone other than Sonic and Shadow, nothing has changed at all. The entire adventure that these two went on essentially happened in the blink of an eye in the main timeline. And I believe that this is why Flynn stated it doesn't matter when this takes place after Advance 3, because it happens in such an isolated timeline where to everyone else it basically didn't even happen. I think a lot of people have been interpreting this as the Shatterspaces just wiping themselves out and not existing anymore, especially since the show doesn't exactly clear things up on this issue. However, I think it's safe to assume that those separate universes are all operating the same way that they were before Sonic intervened. In regards to the cliffhanger where there's a mysterious blue energy that appears and Sonic and his friends get ready to do battle, I still don't think we're supposed to know who or what this is. It's supposed to be left to our imagination, because the point that the show is trying to convey here is that Sonic and his friends are ready for their next adventure. It's similar to how the first Incredibles movie ended, or the Amazing Spider-Man 2. This Underminer guy wasn't really a villain that we're supposed to care about. The point of that ending was to show that the Incredibles had come together as a family and embraced their powers. As the audience, we're supposed to assume that this is the standard going forward. And in the same way, at the end of the Amazing Spider-Man 2, we're not supposed to be worried about seeing Spider-Man fight with the Rhino. The point that the movie is trying to convey is that Spider-Man has overcome his grief and heartache of losing Gwen Stacy, but now he's ready to fight for those who can't stand up for themselves. In Sonic Prime, we see Sonic go on this long journey where he finally realizes that he needs to listen to his friends and work as a team. And the ending that we see here is supposed to reflect that. We see him with his friends ready to go off on some crazy adventure or battle, but this time with all that he's learned while in the Shatterspace. Of course, if a Season 4 ever does happen someday, maybe we can see whatever this is, but as of now it's supposed to just be a fun send-off. I know this is a bit of a shorter video than usual, but I wanted to help clear things up, and I really hope that it helped. As always guys, I wish you all the best, take care, peace.